All right, so here is where I'm at. This is a video of me. I just woke up a minute ago. I'm just being vulnerable here. And I'm going to be looking at myself in this video because I need to get vulnerable with myself and open up with myself. But I'll still upload the video for other people to watch for themselves. But see, where I'm at right now in my life is I cannot be around people that are negative all the time and all they think about is the bad in life, the bad things in life. But at the same time, I can't be around people that are trying to be positive about things and they're putting on to make it look like they want to be that way. You see, I need to be around people right now that are actually smiling because they are happy about something. I need to be around people that have something going for them, that their energy is actual, it's real positive energy. It's real energy. They're not faking it. They're not trying to make it seem like they're something that they know that they're not. They're just that thing because I'll be absolutely honest here. These videos, I'm not saying that I won't enjoy them again, but right now, for some reason, it was working for years for me. It was doing something, it was getting me by for a really long time. But right now at this time, it's not fulfilling what it was fulfilling before. And this is another video that I do not want to make. I hate making videos like this. I don't like getting vulnerable with myself. I hate it as a person, really. I don't like it at all. But and it isn't that I don't enjoy doing videos when I do them. It's just when I wake up, it's me with me in this room, and I have to get myself up. I know this all sounds like normal everyday things, but this is how I am. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not hiding because maybe that's my problem, is that I'm hiding a lot of the things that go on with me. I'm hiding away. And maybe that's what caused all this, because I went into this isolation mode. Now, is isolation good sometimes? Yes. Do I need my solitude sometimes? Most of the time, yes. But when you are in a place by yourself and you wake up every day with yourself, I'm not saying that I don't like doing things by myself. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy doing things by myself, because I do. But it's just gotten to this point where it's not doing what it used to do. So now I have to do something so that I don't keep living the way that I'm living, how I know that I don't want to live for myself. But am I going to be fake doing it? No, that's not what I mean. Am I going to does that mean that I'm going to stop doing all the things I do? No, it doesn't mean that. It's just I don't know what happened. I fell into a rut a couple months ago when I did the dumb shit that I did. I relapsed, and I don't know what that did, or I don't know if I fell and I hit my head or something, or I did something. I'm not saying that it's that, but that it's not an excuse. But ever since then, it just seemed to kind of obliterate my joy. It just kind of obliterated that part of me that was keeping me going, that little bit that I had left to keep going in me. And I know when I wake up, I have to rely on the medication I take, because if I don't take that, I can't function and I'm absolutely miserable. So, what can I do? What can I do? So, that's why, as I'm sitting here doing this, and I might not even upload this video because, see, I think in our world today, we're so scared to get real with ourselves. And I'm even scared to get real with myself sometimes. And to see, if I would just wake up and do a video, it would be a very miserable video. It would be not a good video. And see, who wants to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I don't care if I have to do some things. I don't care if I have to go to therapy or counseling, or I have to find people that actually enjoy life and actually are doing something that they really enjoy doing, and I can tell that their energy is real. I like to see people to have a real smile on their face. I like to see people that actually believe in what they're doing. You see, here's what I'm going to say. I know I have a whole probably mixed varieties of different people here that think different about stuff. But one of the worst things that a person can do that is thinking negatively about everything and is talking down upon everything and is just resonating on all the bad things in life, the worst thing for that person to do is to be around another person like that. It's like double jeopardy. It's like two fires combining and turning into an atomic bomb waiting to blow up. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. And I admit it's me. It is me. It's me. I know that the thing going on is this, and is having to rely on a medication I take, which, like I said before, I never wanted to get on again, but there was reasons why I had to get on it again. I didn't want to. I just didn't have the alternatives in front of me to make another choice. I didn't have the outlet that I needed in order to stay clean and remain clean. And I, as a person, like I said, I don't have a problem with drugs when drugs are needed. I don't have a problem if somebody has mental, things going on and they need to take something to help them to live their lives. I don't have a problem with those kinds of things at all, because I might be someone that might need to be on something for the rest of my life. I don't know. The only way that the only way that I will ever be able to get off what I'm on is if I find out what is going on with my physical things that go on, and I get help with my mental things, and I can find an outlet to where I don't have to rely on that. But I don't know. See, it's a not knowing thing. And then I worry about it. And it seems like everything that I was talking about before, it's kind of come back to bite me in the ass, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? At that time, I meant what I was saying because that's how I was feeling and that's how I was living. But see, when the bad comes, you see, when the depression comes, you see, when the side comes that we don't want to talk about and we don't want to get vulnerable with, then what do? We hide more and we get more angry and we let it build up, and then we isolate more and we keep it hidden more. And this is what I do. This is what I do as a person. Now, in saying that, I still like my solitude. I like being by myself a lot of the times. But yes, there are times that I need to, and like I said, I'm still going to vent on here. I'm still going to do videos. I'm not going to stop doing that. But I don't know. Maybe it's I'm coming to the end of one of my ruts, because I know I have had this happen about a year ago. I was in one of these for about 2 months. 2 months. It might not look like it, you see, but the medication I take, it blocks out a lot of stuff. And I comb my hair and I get all, ready, and I'm walking around and I'm looking like I'm doing something and whatever. And yeah, those are things that help. And those are things that I need to do in my life. But I don't know. I don't know how this happens with me. I fall into these ruts and it's very hard for me to get out of them. And it doesn't really matter what I do. It's just hard to get out of them. I don't know if it's from worrying about things. I know some of it is from the medication I take, because if I don't take enough of that, then my brain needs that. You see, anybody that has taken medication or takes medication or has ever been on a strong medication and you're not taking it, you know exactly what I mean. I've been through this so many times. I was on this before and I got off of it for a while, and then I got back on it and I was off of it for a while. But this time was just different. It wasn't like all the other times. Back in 2009, when I stopped taking it, 2009, we're talking about almost 15 years ago, I was a little healthier. I didn't feel like I do today as much. And I was off of it for a year and about 4 months, a year and 4 months, a year and 5 months, something like that. And I slowly started getting back on it. But if I could go back to that time, just saying I could go back, I would have never got back on it. I would have went to the doctors and I would have did what I had to do. But these same exact things, isolating, hiding myself, hiding my feelings, hiding how I really feel, and other things. It's not just that. It's a lot that goes in with being a drug addict. It's a lot of things. See, people, I'm not looking for pity in this video. I'm not looking for anybody's pity. I'm not looking for people to have empathy on me. I'm just saying, the reason that I became a drug addict in the first place was, it was a reason why I became like that. I just didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to get high today and do something." I did something because of a severe brain injury and concussion that I had a long time ago. And that's what made me get high, because of that happening to me. Because it changed me forever. And see, people that have never had a severe concussion or a brain injury or a hit to the head and spine, they don't understand what that is. They're in a completely different world because they're healthy and they function properly, and they think different and everything. But me, something happened to me when that happened. My life forever changed. And I have been dealing with this for this November, November 14th. It will be 20 years that I've been dealing with this, that I changed forever. Because I used to be the guy that wanted to be around everybody. I was the socialite. I was the one that wanted to go everywhere and be around everyone and show off for everyone and make everyone happy and all that. And there's still a part in me that wants to do that, but this is doing something to thwart me from doing that. And I can't put my finger on it. I cannot pinpoint this damn thing. So, anyway, cheers. But here is my biggest fear. This is one of my biggest fears, is that I say things like I'm not good for people, because my fear is that my depression and my problems will get other people depressed, and I will be venting my problems off on other people. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I got to talk about this shit. Because if I don't talk about it and I don't get it out of me, then it turns into anger, and it turns into rage, and it turns into all of these things that make my blood pressure go up. And then I turn into just, I don't really know what to say or how to put it, but I become something that I don't like. And this is why it's so hard to explain this, because I can't put my finger on what it is, and I don't know what it is. And my whole life I have been searching, seeking, looking into, going to the doctors. I don't know. It's just so many things. I can't sit here and say the thing that I'm trying to think of, because sometimes I have mental blockages here when I'm trying to think of the words or the way to say it. But it's like I need to be in an environment where there are others that are similar to me, but yet they might have found a solution or an alternative to what happens with them, and they are coping in a way where they have a natural positive influence and energy that is real, that is not putting on or trying to be something. And it's so hard to find that today. It's so fucking hard to find that in people, because all that I see is masks and facades. All that I see is, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but all that I see is the good part before the good part, if that makes sense. Like, I always have something that is building up in me that I have to get out. It's like every day there is a buildup of things with me as a man, with myself. And in order to have an outlet to vent, or someone to talk to that will just listen, and that actually has an alternative to something, that is actually doing something about the situation at hand, that is almost impossible. I think it's impossible to find. And see, that's me downplaying on myself, and my mind is saying it's very hard to find. See, that's me just closing off again because I'm so used to doing that. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. All that I know is that a year ago I went through. It's usually once or twice a year that I have this happen. I will get in a severe valley rut. I don't know whether to call it a dark place, or I don't know what to call it besides depression. I don't know. I really don't know what else to call it. And when I'm like this, I cannot function properly. I everything is troublesome. It's like a chore. Getting a shower, brushing my teeth, combing my hair, waking up. It's like a chore. It's not like someone that just wakes up and I'm up. Even though when I was younger, I had trouble getting out of bed. I'm not a morning guy. I do not like getting up. It takes me hours to get up. Even when I drink coffee, it takes me hours to get up. I've never been a person that when I have to get up can get up. If I'm sleeping and I wake up naturally, it's not as bad. But see, some people can get up, get in the shower, brush their teeth, comb their hair, drive to the store to get some coffee, go to work, go to wherever they're going, go to work out. Once upon a time, it was like that for me. It didn't feel like a job. It didn't feel like a chore. It just felt like, okay, got to do it, so I'm going to do it. And I did it. And that's what I think depression means. That's what I think when you get so tired of kind of the repetitiveness of things. Even though I like keeping up with myself, I don't want to just be a complete dirtball or whatever. It's just, it's just before all those things. You see what I'm saying? It's like to have an energy around that motivates me to get up and do something. It's just me right now. It's just me with me doing me and doing things by myself. And but yet at the same time, see, the only people that I need right now in my life is, like I said, I need people that have something going for them. Someone that isn't depressed. Someone that when they smile, it's a genuine smile. Someone that has something going that they love doing, that they're compassionate about, that they believe in. They're doing it because they believe in that thing. And I'm not saying that I don't think similarly, but the thing that is thwarting me and holding me back is all of this stuff. It is the worrying part, is the whatever the brain is doing, whatever my mental state is doing. And it's ridiculous when I hear people out there, you have no idea what it means to have mental issues and mental problems. Like people that can't help it. There's some people that can't help these things, but there's some people that are using mental issues as an excuse to not do nothing. I'm not one of them people. I suffer with these things. I've been going through this my whole life, my whole entire life. I was just very good at hiding it when I was younger because I was always smiling. They would always say, "Oh, look, here comes cheesy. What are you smiling about?" Really, I was hiding things. But see, matter of fact, I think it was better when I was hiding it, but just going and doing it, if that makes any sense. It's like, hey, maybe sometimes, maybe I put myself in this spot, in this position, and I talked myself into a lot of this stuff. And maybe I'm just making retribution for some of the things that I did to myself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I know that it's just for a time, but this has been going on for a while now. And I had this happen so many times before. Every time I'm like, this can't go on, it seems to lift and it seems to go away. And then I'm back to, oh, now I'm all right again. I'm fine again. I can function again. I have something to look forward to again. And then I'll do that for a while. But then out of nowhere, like a misty cloud can come in the middle of the day, like a storm can come when you're out in the ocean and it's blue skies, and a storm can just come out of nowhere and just come over top of you and go in here. That's what happens with me. There's nothing I did to cause it. There's nothing I did to make that happen. I didn't start thinking all this negative stuff or whatever. I didn't do any of that. And I admit, I am a candidate for mental issues, mental dysfunctions. I admit that to people, but it doesn't make me see people that are labeled that have mental problems. They're labeled as nutballs or all this stuff. And yeah, I'm crazy, but I'm not a nut. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I can think for myself. But yet, when that cloud's there, when that depression is there, when that thorn is in your mind that you just can't explain and it's there, and you don't have an outlet, you have outlets, but you have not found the right outlet for yourself. Well, what do? I talk about it, I get real about it, I express it, and sometimes it's still there with me. And the craziest thing about this is I do care for myself, and I do, quote, love myself, if that word means anything to anyone out there, if we're using it in the terms of how I mean it for myself. I care for myself, and I want to live life, and I want to live life to the fullest. But when I have these things going on, I need to say, look, I need help. I need help financially. I need help with certain things. And then people that are healthy that don't have these things will those have everything to say, like, oh, medication's ridiculous and you're just being lazy, and uh oh, well, you just don't want to do something to provide for yourself. See, they have not the slightest clue when they're saying that what they're talking about. They're ignorant on the subject. They're ignorant on the topic. And see, me, the reason that I can speak, I can be a spokesman for people that do suffer from mental things and people that don't, is because I know both sides of the spectrum. I have been on both sides. I have lived with and on and for both sides. I have been there and done it all. I know all too much about both things. I know what it is to be a complete socialite, going from one place to the next and even sleeping at people's places, and all different races, all ethnicities. I didn't care what color people were. I slept at dark skin, brown skin, light skin, white skin, whatever people color want to associate. I slept. I've been around all people. And I know what that is, to be in a crowd and enjoy being in the crowd and all of those things. And then I know what it is to completely isolate and be in a dark room by myself and to go through that for months and years at a time. And I know that both of them can be unhealthy if you're using them in certain ways. But I know for me, when I was out doing things and I was around others or I had places to go and things to do, it was nowhere near like how it gets for me nowadays. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. This is, that was like a 1 out of 10 back then compared to today. It's just finding that balance for myself. You know what I'm saying? It's finding the balance for me. If I'm looking for anything, I'm simply looking for balance in my life. I'm looking for something to cope with, to honestly cope with. I'm looking for an outlet that is real, something that is genuine, something that is unique, something that is not putting on and wearing the mask and facade and not being something or trying to be something because them people are trying to fit in somewhere. I can't be around people like that because I can sense when people are being fake and not being themselves. And when I see that, I run from that. See, I get away from that. And this is kind of my dilemma, is like today, it's we have so many distractions today. There's so many things to distract us from just sitting in a room with one another and just venting what is going on in our thoughts and our mind and our life, and just sit there across from each other and actually look at each other and say something. I mean, I don't know how many people do that in their everyday lives, but today there's just so many things to distract us and to make our minds just go all over the place. And even I still see, this is my hypocrisy, is even though I'm saying this, I cause a lot of this. So that's my own hypocrisy. Even though I'm saying this, every time I wake up, what do? I get on the computer. I go on YouTube, or I make a video, or that's usually what I do. If I don't take a walk, or I'm not going to work or whatever, and it has become a habit for myself. It's become more than likely a bad habit. I got to be honest with myself. It's not become a good habit, it's become a bad habit for me. But the thing is, though, what's crazy is it's not that I'm watching bad things. It isn't that I'm getting involved with the stupidity of gossip that is irrelevant and doesn't mean anything, that's nonsensical. It doesn't mean I'm doing that either. It basically just comes down to this doing what this does. And when this does what this does, then this needs to have an outlet, or it needs to have something to exercise itself or to get out of itself. You see what I'm saying? This is what this is what people are very ignorant of, that do not have mental things going on, that do not have, I don't know if I want to say mental illness. I see it as a dysfunction. And my whole family was like this. My whole family was dysfunctional. And we still are dysfunctional. We still are dysfunctional. Whether they want to admit it or say it or not, I don't care. But I mean, my family is drug addicts, mental illness, and I don't know if I want to say awkward. I don't really know the other word to put there, but that's my family. And the other side of my dad's side of the family is not as bad. They function better. They're always together, and I'm glad that they're together. I really am. I'm glad that they stick together and they live their lives. If they ever hear this video, I'm glad for y'all that y'all stuck together and you live together. They go out to eat together, they do things together, they celebrate together, they do all that stuff. And I'm glad they do that. I'm glad they do that. But there's really no place for me there. I don't have a kid. I don't, the things I do and the things I'm into, it's not the same things that they might be into. It isn't that I hate them or anything or I have anything against them, because I don't. I love them. They're my family. I care for them. But that side is more functional. My mom's side is the dysfunctional, drug addicted. I have had 3 overdoses on my mom's side of the family. My Aunt Tammy died a little bit ago. My Uncle Tim died a little bit ago. And my brother Earl died 7 years ago of a drug overdose. So, yes, and these things have played a part in it too. These things have kind of tore me apart as a person too. And do you ever recover from those things? I don't know. They say time heals. I don't know about that. I don't know about that sometimes. So I mean, this is why I understand this more than most people, because I've been through it. I've seen it. I've seen my brother dead on the floor, blue and pale and white and dead. I've seen that. You know, I've had 2 other family members, like I just said, do the same thing. And the thing that makes it even worse is they were both in a coma. I think my Uncle Tim was in a coma for 8 or 9 days, and my Aunt Tammy was in a coma for 7 days. So you can imagine how that can rip. So you can imagine how that can rip and tear a family apart. And knowing that you couldn't do something to help them in the way that they were. You see, that bothers me too. But yet again, I know that I can't live their life and I couldn't live their life. But I still feel associated with it. And that's just one thing out of many things. That's just one thing out of many things. That's not, that's not the whole picture or everything. That's just something that comes along or that has caused some of these things too. It's not everything though. So I don't know. Like I said, all that I want to do is provide a platform that is real, that doesn't bullshit, that doesn't put on, that is unique, that is says what it gotta say. I want this to always be a refuge for realism And sometimes realism is not pretty. It's nasty and it's ugly and it's vicious and it's cruel and it's not fair and it's all these things. So what do you do? It can't just always be good all the time, but yet in saying that, it isn't that I'm not looking for good things in life. It isn't that I don't want to enjoy something in life when I say these things. But for me as a person, what goes on with this is that I need to first talk about and get things out. I have to first go to the bottom of the barrel where the rotten apples are. You see, I need to go where the dirt is, where all the things going on up here is, and I need to get that out the way first. And if I don't do that, then I'm not going to get to the part where I'm coping properly, or I have the tools to use, or um, I have the right outlet to do what it is that I'm doing. You understand what I mean? And this is what a lot of the world does. Right away, right when we wake up, what do people say? Good morning, right? Good morning. Okay, well, what if I'm not having a good morning? How, see, I will be offending you because you're saying that, but hey, look, sometimes I'm having a horrible morning, so I might need to talk about that or get it off my chest before I can have a good morning. See, this is where my fear comes from, going out into the world and associating with people, because I don't know of a way to do that. And sometimes I don't think that's even possible. This is why I think sometimes it's better to go do something privately, maybe with a therapist or a counselor or someone that you know that you can talk with that will listen, something like that. Because when you go out into the real world, most of the time when you say these things, most people, they're not going to know what to say to you. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault because they're probably not thinking that way. And it's not their fault that they're not thinking that way. They're just not mentally wired the same way as people like me. So in those situations, I kind of just go along with it. You know, if someone says, "Hey, good morning," I go, "Hey, okay, how you doing?" Or "All right, another day." You know, I don't know, whatever people say. And it's just these little tiny things that build up into a kingdom of things that I need to get off of my chest and off of my mind. And this is what's so hard to understand about someone like me, is this kind of sophistication. A lot of people don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to react to it, because how can they if they don't understand? And that's my biggest fear, is that if I say I'm not good for most people, and I'm not good for most people, I admit that I'm not good for most people, because I'm in fear that my own depression, my own things that I have with me, that will seep off into the next person, because I know how influenced most people can be very easily. And I know how people can take things in and get offended very easily when they might not understand that's not what I intended it for. I didn't intend it to sound like I was being insulting or offending you or being sarcastic. See that, and people don't understand my humor. I have a very kind of like naughty, teasing, dark kind of weird humor that I have, and people never understood it. They didn't understand it because the reason I was being that way is because of the things going on in me that I was just venting, but they took it personally. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. It's so hard to understand this, that when I'm doing these things, all that I'm doing is I'm venting it. I'm getting it off my chest. I'm speaking it into the open. But when regular people take that in, they take it personally, or like, oh, you're saying that to me? No, I'm not saying it to you. It's just I have to talk about it. I have to discuss this for myself. I have to come off that way sometimes. So that's where it's at right now. May 8th, 2023, 3:48 p.m. later on, and take care.